On this day, March 4th, 2021, last video was interrupted. Again, happens usually. I can't reply to this. I continue my talk of lift form work, part of quality system which I was talking of, and I explained a lot in that. It's important. I was talking of this in case I repeat this. I will continue in this that please check whether or not starter or kicker is convenient. Of site fabricated. Check system is in line with system manufacturer's drawing. In case self-designed system is being followed, ensure followings. Check lift well door forms are additionally fixed to be concealed within main forms. Check both internal and external forms are fixed in position correctly. Check sides supporting system intact upon side when bolts are used. Check grid offsets, thread lines are available. Check from both axis reference to ascertain all walls locations. Fill inside of all sections in all walls. But after ensuring true locations and accurate plumb, top inclined support is meant for keeping forms in position. Middle support located and fixed at 1/3 from bottom is meant for resisting resultant fluid pressure during pour. Bottom horizontal support is meant for holding formwork foot. More supports can also be added depending on height of proposed pour, and also spacing of bolts, tie bolts would require number of added supports. Check whether or not tie bolts have been designed to withstand forces imposed by liquid concrete safely. Check all corners of forms are well anchored without causing any worry for opening or relocation of forms or getting twisted. Also check internal forms that should be provided with adequate cross inclined supports, though located in middle of forms at various locations. Check whether or not heavy plumb bobs are hung from top of forms on at least 3 or more locations. Depending on length of RCC wall, heavy plumb bob means either use heavy concrete piece or brick. Binding wire can also be used to hang heavy weight. Timber piece can be fixed on top to hang bob. First check form location at bottom, then at top. Check location somewhere at mid after ensuring form location. Check plumb on all locations vertically and full height casting. Check for adjustments if required to bring errors within permissible limits. Once forms are checked for horizontal and vertical location, start fastening ties and ensure supports are well anchored. Having completed all walls preparatory works, move for working platform operations and check stability of system. Plan for inspection and pour. Check adequate working space is available within walls preparatory works about passes of pump Pump pipes down to at least 1.5 to 2 meter above lowest starting point. Check for raising a strong temporary platform internally as well for working. Remember, the wall spore is slow around walls but steady as it has to be poured in rotation of heights not more than depth of nozzle. A risk opening forms in case pour is allowed fast. Walls not an element like columns or beams and therefore imports a good check and attention. Lift well. Walls are complicated pour that should be taken due care of. Better if you can read this. This is I just zoom out, sorry, and you can say I think maybe you are able to read this. I cannot say in zoom also, but let us see if you can. It's not coming full even now. Well, I put in two stages. Let me put half first. Let me put half first. I put here, and then I'll take in another patient. So let us say I put this page here first. I hope that you can read it carefully. It's towards this long. I put 190. Will take 5 minutes to 5 minutes for you to read this. Then another 5 minutes I'll give you. Meanwhile, you can say you enjoy for 5 minutes if you can. It doesn't make much difference because it should be clear. Maybe you're not fast. You can note it down. No problem. I give you time. You can note it down so that I'll give another 5 minutes as well. Meanwhile, I didn't do it. So you must have read it, I think. Let us see next issue on this. And it is like that. You should understand whole show. You must have gone through. Now, longitudinal stair work. Longitudinal stair, long span, not no, span parallel to waist slab, not to stairs, steps, edges. We have to understand this very well. It's RCC longitudinal stair works. RCC longitudinal stair works. What is that? Conduct in depth. Now, it is coordination that we have to take care of here. That stair means a bridge, you can say, between two floors. A different kind of bridge between two floors. This connects one floor to other and then it continues. A longitudinal stair, lower level and to upper level, there is landing in between. It connects this floor to upper floor by a continuous flight, and then landing, and then flight, and then floor. There are two flights. Generally, if you take dog-legged stair and one landing in between, common to both floors. Span of waist slab, and landing mid and upper equivalent. Landing at landing level, there is a framing structure. In framing, there is a beam, fixed beam. In frame, it's not slab level, it's in between slab levels, lower slab and above slab. There is a beam, and also on floor level there is of course beam connection. So two connections in slab level, lower slab and upper slab, and landing level there's a beam which fixes it. So three supports, mid beam and two floors. It is not necessary that there should be column at floor level. It's not necessary. You have different approach. If there's a remote distant column, or you can then hang in beam itself, can be done depending on span of columns, span of beam, stuff. Now question arises, waist slab could be 20 centimeter thick, could be 25 centimeter thick, depending on span of waist slab. In some cases, less span means less thickness, and long span means long thickness. Depends on thread and risers. Number of risers more means number of threads more. It is your design. Important point is design is available. That's not an issue. Point is demarcation. Dimensions of stair. Dimension of stairs. Let us see what I written. Says setting of lowest beam can be carried out in one go, easily whether or not it's monolithic with great slab. Setting of columns, it's little tedious as a decision has to be taken about whether stays casting of column or full casting allows trowel. And setting of first waste slab requires dimensions of waste soffit, which you don't have, you have to find. Setting of landing beams, landing slab requires dimensions of soffit plus beam soffit, up stand or down stand. Setting of mid landing requires dimensions of soffit. Setting of second waste slab requires dimensions of waste soffit and beams of slab. Setting of floor portion landing requires slab dimensions in line with main slab. Setting of floor beams requirement of surrounding beams. Now ensure setting of floor beams and requirements of surrounding beams. Ensure riser and tread dimensions, very significant. Ensure structural floor height to structural floor height matches with riser size, some number of risers multiplied by size of riser. In general, calculation and setting dimensions is a cumbersome process. For stair work on site, working carpenter requires full details that either junior supervisors or surveyors on site may not rightly communicate. Check whether or not all required dimensions are indicated. In case of some important dimension missing, use AutoCAD soft copy for charting out required dimension. It's not tedious job by AutoCAD if it is done. Calculating using formula shall not be much supportive. It's significant to note that carpenter shall require relevant dimension necessary for setting out formwork in 3-axis dimension. Check whether or not supporting system scaffolding for stair is easy as supplied by proprietary manufacturer, or it requires to be designed on site using traditional methods. It's been observed that many adjustments are made on site for such purposes. Check whether or not complete stair can be poured in one go or in 2 stages. Check all rebars and how those placed in right location. Check all electrical inserts that are in place. Check all risers are in right location and well anchored using middle anchorage supporting system. Check whether or not railing inserts required at this stage or preferably not required as embedments. Check all forms are fixed properly and well secured. Inspection to be conducted. Plan for pour whether first portion separately or second portion with slab, or plan pour all with help slab is an option. This is just background I given you. Now we talk. Now I said beams at landing level, and then carpenter requires to fix bottom shutters or soffit of landing beam, waste slab, and you can say your slab or grade slab or basement slab. whatever. It's your decide. If it is basement slab, then you have to start from a beam at basement level. Means where shall, because generally slabs, bottom slab or grid slabs are not structural one. So you have beams in foundations. So your waste slab at lowest level, or you can say zero rise, should be given a beam, ordinary beam, and there you have to draw on your drawing software. After that you have to draw based on your stair, riser and tread, that hypotenuse, whatever hypotenuse diagonal you get, you have to draw a parallel of based on thickness of your stair. Already steps are in, you have drawn all steps, and you have connected that line which parallel to this. If thickness is 25 centimeter or 20 centimeter, according to calculations, you can draw a line. So this line profile of waste slab of landing of soffit of landing and beam at the or a floor, you can find out different dimensions. A cutout on beam is a riser small portion in first step, and then waste slab inclined portion, and that connection with landing bottom. These details which you can count from, you can measure from your drawing and write on that longitudinal section. This hole can go to, also if it is floor, where is column located, that one to where waste slab starts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever number you have, it depends. All these dimensions you give it to carpenter, so that carpenter takes profile and does his work accordingly. Now there are structural elements, landing beam, and then already casted slab at some level. You have to use that for first. You can prepare first rest with landing and leave second flight to be cast with upper slab. I think that is better. Or you can cast, it's up to you, but I will suggest to cast one portion of flight, 2 flights. We have convenience, we have to cast steps also monothically with waste. People should understand this point. We have to fix shutters for risers of all waste slab, and we have to prepare upstand beams at landing level. Generally upstand beams done, not downstand. It depends. Generally upstand is also because there is no floor there except landing floor, and like that it moves up. So upstands can also be done so that bottom of landing is free, and that portion upstand means there's no bar. You can take down slab also, down slab. It's up to you to decide. Even if it's upstand, it not be very deep, 30 centimeter maximum depth, 25 baby. So not big deal. Only problem is waste slab and landing bottom. Waste slab bottom and landing bottom profile. You can find and record on drawing so that it's easy for site worker to do this job. You have fixed waste slab, you have fixed reinforcement according to requirement and calculations, 12 mm, 20 mm, 16 mm, depending upon, and also if there is ductwork on the other side. Now you are to fix your reinforcement and electrical supply distribution system. You have to all steel you fix, and you can fix all steel, doesn't matter, because steps shall not be very complicated once you fix in steel. Just the piece of and the board of step, already steps are there, and you can have to rectify it. This is where you stand always with stair. Once all reinforcement is over, inspection is over, electrical conduits are laid, then you have to, of course, waste slab, vertical edges, vertical sides of waste slab, this edge is little higher than, because there are fixed risers. You have to fix riser panels there, which must be done all time before doing pour. And you can fix riser panels for full step, or you can do as you wish depending on side, because you have given complete profile to your stair. Because when you have some way, you have reached top with measurements, and then you have to do all work remaining safety requirement. Because once stair is poured, it can't be changed. Quantity is very less comparative to slab quantity. And also all support system is inclined, all props below, all supports below, stair with a cup log or otherwise props, they vary in height. So it's very systematic and sincere to see thoroughly your requirement to do it. We have to be a little clever in our approach towards staircase. Do not rush, when you cast from lower level of stair. Lower level of stair gradually, slowly, and cast slab along with stair step, and move upwards, completing all, and then reach to landing. You will find convenient. And regarding pour, we'll talk in pour time when we talk of in this same file. We'll take up discussion on pour. This is lift preparatory work. I explained to you. Lift preparatory works. We'll go now to suspended slab works. Suspended slab. Why do we call it suspended slab? We have to answer this first. Because it's suspended. Suspended where? It is suspended in framing. Suspension. Of course, it is supported. We call it sometimes on an ordinary way simply support. We call it partial fix. We call it fix it. But because every horizontal member is a tendency to sag because it is suspended, it's not fully supported. It is supported through beams to columns. Portion between beams and this portion, diaphragm portion, thin slab portion, has, of course, due to load, tendency to move down, sag, and of course it would be removed or to recover. This is called deflection. So it's suspension either on all supports or a continuous suspension at one support. That's the meaning of suspended slab, doesn't mean something else. Conduct, now you have to conduct in depth drawing, coordination. You have to see coordination on drawings for relevant involved activities. Ensure that all structural and coordinated services drawings are ready for construction. Actual details pertinent for the following settings should be charted out clearly for communication to site. Whatever error may mar site work in suspended slab case. Setting of all grids in both directions are accurate. All supporting system scaffolding drawings are duly approved or certified by designer or manufacturer. Designer of manufacturer, all access scaffolding details are ready. All stepping type ladders are ready wherever required. Material step type ladders, be clear what is the step type, don't be confused. It is only temporary item, temporary work. There are two kinds of ladders. One is ordinary ladder where you can step. If there is no riser, there is no tread, just some rod. Other one is like stair. There are full riser and full tread. Then next like that. So that no one can view from below. And also it is secure that freely you can ascend down and descend down. That type of stair. We have done it. It will be used many times. If done, as if it will not be used that place, it will be used somewhere else. That combination have some stepping type ladders are ready wherever required. And when there are step type ladders with railing as well on both sides. Materials for all areas ready for safe working and around of pourable area. Materials for all areas are ready for building works. All rebars are ready, duly tagged. Ensure all columns and RCC walls are poured. Ensure construction joints are made in column tops. Construction joint in column tops. What does it mean? Very important point. Because you're working for slab and you had poured columns before. Columns were poured to which level means exactly where it's. Now from that level on to current work, a small portion on column heads you can say. If you have to create column heads, the dimension. If you take this complete, you understand what I'm talking of. Column, wherever it was, has to be chipped out, scabbled from its section. All latents removed, and if there is some set cement on bars, should all be removed. So that point you must understand. Ensure columns and RCC wall support. Ensure construction joints are made on column tops. Means after making these joints, you will be ready for that joint to beam. All we have to consider that. Ensure datum level lines are marked on columns or faces, and ensure datum levels are marked on RCC wall surfaces for reference. Ensure erection of supporting either mechanical system or other system is well handled by a specialist trained team of riggers. Ensure that erection or installation of system provides a good space to circulate within. Erection of installation or system provides a good space. Circulate within. Ensure fixing of all beams, bottoms or down stems are commenced with at right location all over area. This is an important activity and must be ensured for correctness by land surveyor or an experienced foreman. Leveling of beam soffit is significant but should be within approximation at this stage, for it would be corrected by adjustments at final level check. Ensure that beam sides are able to be stripped out conveniently while beam soffit is in place. Soffit may be in place for defined duration of form strike. Ensure slab soffit levels are correct and system is installed accordingly. Ensure safety rail is available, duly installed around working area from safety reasons, safety point of view. Ensure correct alignment is marked on slab exteriors for slab sides formwork. Ensure location of construction joint if so required for a major pole. Ensure that grid locations are correctly transmitted on slab beam lines. Ensure that beam sides could be struck easily prior to slab soffit forms. Make sure correctness by checking levels on slab. Make sure correctness of dimensions of beam sections. Make sure if so required timber fillets can also, timber fillets are fixed on beams corners for exposed faces. This is timber fillets means chamfers, you can say. And make sure that striking oil you can say, applied and dried out prior to placing rebars. Ensure that rebars are centered and fixed to meet requirement. Beams may be prefabricated on ground if so convenient, otherwise these could be on location assembled. Beams means not concrete beams, reinforcement beams I'm talking. Ensure that all bars are tightly bound and concrete or plastic spaces fixed uniformly. Ensure that all services block outs are marked and fixed wherever shown. Ensure bottom reinforcement. Ensure bottom reinforcement. You can say all bars are tightly bound in concrete plastic specifics uniformly, so that all service boxes out are marked and fixed where required. Ensure bottom reinforcement placed as required. Ensure that electrical first fix conduit work is done satisfactorily and inspected by competent electrical engineer. Ensure adequate overlaps are available for next flow, if that being the case. Overlaps of what? Overlaps of columns. Then make sure all overlaps of standing bars well held by rings or straps. Make sure that all mechanical connectors, if used in place of overlaps, then we can say next time, ensure that adequate space is available after mechanical connectors are used for passage of vibrator needle. In case epoxy coated bars are included, ensure continuous activity of epoxy touch-up paint is made. Make sure all previous concrete joints are well cleaned by scabbling or hacking. Ensure that no dirt and timber pieces, etc. not available after cleaning by air compressor is done. It's hot. Keep form cool by allowing water. Every care is required. Check flash setting would be avoided. Flash setting would be avoided. And you can say ensure that stair portion to be poured wood slab is well scabbled at joint locations and rebars are cleaned properly. Then you can say ensure cleaning of lift well. Then you can say ensure clearing of lift well and not lift well bar, sorry, it's the lift well bars, actually rebars which are left and should connect to slab, Ensure clearing of lift well bars which are projected one, because slab shall meet there as well. Ensure all blocks out or inserts are in place. And make sure if so required, scaffolding manufacturer certification is an illusion. Wow. Then let's say make sure if required scaffolding manufacturer certifications obtained for scaffolding supporting system being sound because it may be their design. Make sure portions of beam down stands are well secured by fixing tie poles wherever required. Ensure that all column scaps forms are plumb and well secured. Ensure a thorough inspection is conducted for all preparatory works as well as temporary works. No doubt should remain unattended. Plan pouring activity in all respects, defining locations of pumps and pour. You can say chart out concrete start timing, then chart out truck arrival sequence. We have to make sure further activities which are very important from this point of view. The times very short, chart out concrete start timing, chart out truck arrival sequence, define concrete date, define concrete procedure, check all equipment availability, make sure that testing laboratory technicians would attend in time. Also prior to concrete pour, check all supports and system support systems. Yes. On those. No. Now let's go to think of in case there is already one slab below, system ensures that additional supporting system is installed there depending on days of previous concrete below slab. Once safety is overlooked, site shall promote to untoward accident. So you have to take care of previous slab. You cannot impose load on that at this stage probably, because concrete might not have achieved its strength. So you have to provide counter props there below lower slab which you are already casted. So part load should be taken by that slab and other load should go to other slab. This is understanding means how to do that. So slab 4 is very complicated because it depends on coordination of work. Coordination of everything is very important in slab 4. Slab 4 means you have to coordinate with electrical, with air conditioning, with plumbing, or whatever else service, and also you have to coordinate with gas and also firefighting, smoke detectors. Whatever services are required means a lot of work is done. It's not simply steel or civil works only, it's works according to requirement. They have to calculate the items, they have to calculate hours. Now we shall take into consideration about this overall system. These are only points I given, but in fact you have to decide yourself. You know, scaffolding system externally, temporary work is very important. People have to work safely, you cannot take any risk. Means around that slab you have to provide working area, safe area. No one is allowed to go down from that area without scaffolding. It's very important point. It's write down sketch, but you do not do sketch of. See of. Okay, so it is wonderful that we are discussing something very important today, and it is, I think, important factor in all that you have to provide safety measures around this referee in such a way that drilling is available, tow boats are available. Nobody should fall from there, and people should work while pouring and also doing some other works without thinking, without manipulation. Because generally, we will form those areas, fall from those areas. Say, ensuring that. हाँ आ रहा हूँ आ रहा हूँ आ रहा हूँ